So we're going to combine some ideas here. So we've talked about negative exponents, and now we've talked about rational exponents. So what happens when we have both? And what really happens is that we have both rules. So if we have x raised to a negative 1 over n, the rule goes with the negative exponents, and that's what we would want to take care of first. Always start with your negative exponents, because that's just a matter of moving the pieces around. So it's best to start with that so that you can move the pieces to the correct location and then simplify from there. It's kind of, I think of two, it's kind of best to avoid negative numbers if you can. It's better to turn them positive and then simplify. So what will happen is this would move x to a positive 1 over n into the denominator, which is the same thing as the nth root of x in the denominator, and then we would have 1 in the numerator. So if we had x raised to the negative 1/4, that would be the 4th root of x, but in the denominator because of that negative symbol there. Similarly, if we had a value in the numerator for our exponent, this would move to the denominator, and then we would translate it to radical form as we did before. So if we had x to the negative 2/3, it would move to the denominator, and we have this exponent of 2 cube root. So we'd have this cube root of x squared in the denominator because of that negative symbol. So let's try these out. So we have 16 to the negative 1/2. So I'm going to take care of the negative first, which just means moving to the denominator. So we're going to move to the denominator with the 16, and then now the exponent would be a positive 1/2, which that's the same thing as 1 over the square root of 16, which would be 1 over 4. And that would be completely simplified. Here we will have, with that negative exponent, move to the denominator. So we'll have that base of 25, and then a positive 3/2 exponent. And that'll change to 1 over. So we're taking a square root of 25 cubed. So 25 cubed is a big number of, let's see, we'll have the square root, 15,625. And then taking the square root of that number should be 125. So it moves to the denominator, then we translate to radical form, and it's just a matter of simplifying. With this example here, so our negative exponent is covering all of this in the parentheses, so all that's going to move to the denominator. So we'll have 1 over, and then I'm going to keep those parentheses, it's negative 36. But now outside of the parentheses, we'll have an exponent of positive 1/2. Now the positive 1/2 is a square root, so this is a 1 over square root of, and that negative 36 goes underneath. But now this is the case of taking an even root of a negative number, which we can't do. So this is going to turn out to be not a real number. So with these, just be careful with what the negative symbols are doing. If the negative is attached to the base, then just keep in mind that we can't take an even root of that base value. But the negative number in the exponent, that's just telling you where to move numerator to denominator.